from the studios of Adabai 8.9 FM. Good afternoon and welcome to today's edition of the Roundtable. My name is Dimitri Tanes, and joining me on the program this afternoon is the chairman, PDP Publicity and Media and Publicity Committee, Dr. Benson Anikome. You're welcome on today's edition of the Roundtable.
Good morning, good afternoon. It's a pleasure being here, and greetings to our people at home.
Okay, you were in the primaries. You rooted for Dr. Ediola Feso, and many would expect, because one of the things that I heard from you then was that your people in the South were clamoring for a return of the governorship seat to that area, and that the people of your local government, in the larger local government, I believe I'm right, were clamoring for either the governorship seat or the deputy governorship seat, because they have never had it. One would think that you would either go with Agbola, who is from SLDO, or Akeredolu, who picked his deputy from larger local government. But then you settled for Ita Jagede, who many people have criticized for overlooking your area, and instead going to Okitipa local government to pick his deputy. Why that decision? Is that a personal? Is that born out of personal interest or a collective interest?
First and foremost, I am a member of the PDP, and I remain a member of the PDP. The decision as to who to choose for the governorship candidate, that is to flag the flag of the party, remains that of the PDP. That decision was taken by PDP members. Of a truth, as at then, I preferred Dr. Eniola Olafeso to any of the candidates that was contesting. And that was my position then. And I rooted for him. I worked for him assiduously. But when the primary came, and I think it was on the 22nd or 23rd of was it July?
That should be 22nd of July.
July, when the primary was held, I voted for Ediola Feso. But Ediola Feso did not win. That primary was clean, free, and fair, transparent. And Eyita Ejegede SCN came atop. My own candidate had 170. He had 888. The margin was wide. What do you do as a player of the game? When you play football, if you don't win, you don't carry cudgel and cutlasses and guns and begin to shoot everybody down. It's never done. And therefore, it was a party's decision. The members spoke loudly and clearly. Now, before I go, recall, I also contested as the deputy state chairman of the party.
Yes.
I did not win. I had 252. The person that won had 1,360 something. He beat me silly. I was not going to leave the party. I remain a party member. The fact that your father says this room is not good for you today is not enough reason to set the whole house ablaze. If you are a son in the house, no matter what happens, you may complain. You complain within the house structure. And so, when Eyita Ejegede SCN won the primary, what did I do? I gave him a call. Congratulations, sir. You won. My candidate did not win. And I spoke to my candidate. What do? We can't leave our party. We don't jump here and there. We are members of the PDP. And he said, Benson, let's see how things will go. We had 1 or 2 meetings, and thereafter, he said, we will work with our party. Whatever we have, we'll make use of it. Just a moment, let me land. And thereafter, Eyita Ejegede, leading the party chairman of the state, Honorable Fatai Adams, together with Honorable Ologun Agba, who was a former member of the House of Representatives for Akoko Southwest and Akoko Southeast, engineer or architect Obanayan, and engineer another chap from Akure. They came to my office and pleaded with me to lead the campaign on media and publicity. That was humbling enough. For the man, he's my senior at the bar, a senior advocate. For him to leave his ivory tower and came to my humble abode, leading this team, this caliber of persons, and said, please, Dr. Enukwumehin, we appeal to you, come and lead this campaign. For goodness sake, should I be doing like rolling dollars? Not the name of that man, just be rolling here. And somebody who left APC, roll into PDP, and before they could say that they're rolling, and roll to ZLP. If he does not win in ZLP now, we roll somewhere. For me, Dr. Benson Enukwumehin, I am a PDP member. The decisions you talk about were taken by PDP
Let me quickly ask you this.
And therefore,
before you were given this latest job, your present job now, I heard, I don't know if that is true, but you can confirm that you were one of those who were not really happy with the choice of Jegede's deputy. That the politics behind it. That you felt, not just you alone, felt that your area was marginalized.
You spoke
in that decision.
You spoke the truth. I have thought that an Elijah person will be chosen as the deputy. That was my position.
But that did not happen.
That did not happen. That again was a decision taken by the party. And therefore, if the party took a decision, and I'm a member of that party, and I believe in the structure of that party, I will go by the party's decision. But note, that is not to say there are no competent and qualified persons in Ilaje to do the job. Of course not. Up till now, if there is a room to do so, I will gladly take it. However, the party didn't take that decision. And when that final decision was made, as a team player, as a football player on that field, even when the referee takes a decision and you are not too satisfied, you will still go on with the game. And with this game, I'm not going on with haphazard commitment. No.
Yeah,
it's a football.
100%.
100% because it is PDP.
But in spite of whichever camp you are, or whichever decision the PDP or you made, the political sentiment in your area, in Ilaje, in SLD, in Okutuba, has not changed.
Now,
because of so let me ask the question.
Yeah.
How does the PDP hope to convince your people in Ilaje, in SLD, in Okutuba, in all these areas to go with Eyitayo Jegede in this election?
Now,
knowing that they have an Agbolaja from ZLP and they have a Lucky Ayedatiwa Akedolu's running mate from Ilaje SLD.
Now, I hope you will interject me.
I would not.
I hope you will allow me to advance reason.
I will let you do.
Please do. Just give me the number of minutes I require. Don't interject.
Please go on.
Now, truly speaking, Lucky Ayedatiwa and I are from the same political world, Ugbo Ward 4. He is a son of the soil, no doubt about it. There are no skirmishes about him that are known to me. His choice by his party is good for him and the party. That, I can't take it away. Agboola Ajayi is from Ese-Odo, particularly from the Apoyi extraction. Now, he did not feel comfortable that he came second, and he left for ZLP. That is his choice. You can't take it away from him. But look at the following scenario. For 3.5 years, Governor Rotimi Akeredolu presided over the affairs of this state. When we came on board, because I was with him at the initial stage, when we came on board, we met about 1.4 billion naira in the account of Osobadek, it was in Access Bank. You see, I talked to you with facts. And one of the comments he made was that this money was going to be utilized for the benefit of the people. Now, the question you ask is this. For these 3.5 years, what has Elijah got to show for his presence in that locality? I came from Elijah this morning. I went in yesterday, and I know the feeling of the people. Yes, office of the deputy governor is a good one, but the deputy governor, for crying aloud, is a PA, quote and unquote, to the governor. Whatever assignment the governor gives to him is what he will do. If the governor does not assign anything to him, he does nothing. In fact, one of the former governors in Anambra State described him as a spare tire. It is only when your tire bursts that you will make use of the spare tire. I know the spare tire in your car has been there for months. You don't use it. So, for our people, good as it were that you pick our son as the deputy governor, the question is, what did you do in Elijah? The Ayetoro community that is almost sinking to the sea, what has this government done? The Ugbonla road to Ayetoro, which was left about 8 years ago, what did you do about it? Recall that Aketi in March 2017 signed an MOU with NDTC that it was going to construct the road from Araromi to Akodo in Lagos.
Has that not been done?
For where? Go to that place. The only thing you will see is the flag off for that place. That is the only thing. I went there.
What about the road?
I told you don't disrupt me. Let me land.
But you're raising issues.
No,
I have to ask questions.
These issues will be addressed. I will address all of them. Even without you asking questions, I will address those issues.
Okay, please go ahead.
Now, that was not done.
Okay.
The money for Osopadek, of which one of our sons is the chairman.
Edema.
You mentioned its name. I don't want to mention anybody's name on air. Till now, there has not been a tissue paper put in that locality. If you recall, there's a video that went viral. Some young boys went to commission bad roads on the Akitubua.
I saw that.
I saw that. If you saw it, what does it take for this government to take money from the 40% that accrues to Osopadek? Let me educate everybody. Osopadek money that comes in is in the 100%. If, for example, 2 billion comes in for Osopadek, the Elijah people are entitled to 40% of that 2 billion. The remaining 60% goes to the entire state. This is different from the allocation that comes from oil. The 13% derivation, if it is 2 billion, it means 800 billion goes to Osopadek for the development of that area, while 1.2 billion goes to the other 17 local governments for their development. Up to this very moment, that road those boys commissioned on behalf of the governor for signing MOU is still on MOU list. And no kobo has been raised for the purpose of developing the area.
Why you say nothing has been done there? I've interacted with some of the people in government and they said there are roads being constructed in the area.
Wait.
Is that not so?
I said just wait. Once you wait, you will get. The boy said calm down. You calm down. Let me explain. I'm from that place. I am a principal son of that place. Former commissioner on the board of NDDC. I know the environment. So calm down. Let me talk. There is this road that Dr. Olusegun Mimiko, toward the twilight of his government, started to construct, which is from Aboto Angu to Atijere. Atijere is in our area. That road is what this government says is constructing. One of my younger ones, who was the chairman of the local government, the caretaker committee, we were on air. And he said, you can drive on that road to Atijere. And I asked him, Honorable Sanso, are you speaking the truth? I took the photograph and sent to him. He said, sorry, but the road is being constructed. Now, aside from this one, it is under construction. That road has not been done.
It has not been completed.
Not completed.
Or it's being done.
You are not. If you have to do about 20-30 kilometers of road, and you have just started work on 500 meters, what are we talking about? Go there. I will sponsor the cost. I, Dr. Benson Enikwome, will sponsor the cost to go to that place and see it.
So if you are to, if you are being
therefore, what it should have done would have been within these 3 years, people would have seen what he did, the footbridges, the communities that are developed, the Ayetoro community. Idiogba is already linked to the sea. That place is already been seated. You would have seen the removal of the seated water and all that from that. That was never done. And you now said, you give us deputy governor. Deputy governor, good. We will prefer development. Give us the money of Osopadek. And this is the note of warning I'm sending to everyone, including my party, that on coming to board, you must allow Osopadek to function for the benefit of the people. Let's see the effect. Agagu was the one that used the Osopadek money to construct the Ofara Road. The Ofara Bridge is the one that goes to Rirara. The bridge at Aboto. The bridge at Alakpe. The longest bridge. The one that connects Irele. That bridge on Oluwa Water. And the road from Igbokoda to Ugbonla. You recall my criticism of Dr. Mimiko.
Okay,
and that he didn't do anything substantial. But he went and asphalt-laid the road.
Okay,
this government has done 0%.
Dr. Enikwome, so if you are being asked now that as Accra route not been fair to Ondo South, what will be your answer?
My answer is that it's not only not being unfair, it's grossly unfair. It's wickedly unfair.
He has not done anything.
It means
he has not done anything.
No, you would tell me of the bridge, the overhead bridge that construct.
I'm not even talking about it now. What about the seaport that is being talked about? Because that is one of the it has become a narrative being pushed by the APC. They say government is working on it and that it will soon become a reality.
You see, I don't like this.
You are from that area.
I don't like deceiving myself.
Okay.
Now let me tell you the truth. That seaport, together with Olokunla Free Trade Zone, did not start with this government.
Yeah, I think Agagu started.
Agagu started it. For that project to go on well, the stakeholders are the federal government,
yes,
Ogun State government, because there's nothing you can do in Olokola without carrying Ogun State government along, and the larger people. You cannot come toward the twilight of your campaign and you now say, oh, I want to do seaport for you. Which period? Where have you been for the past 3 years? What did you do for the past 3 years?
So you're saying it's not being worked on? Is the government working on it?
It's a fluke. The
government is not sincere about it.
It's a joke. The government is the height of insincerity. And I put it on record. If this government will ever do that particular project before he leaves, because of a truth, the government will leave by February 2021. That is the truth. Our people are decided what is meant for us. You should have used it for us, not for you to come and tell us stories. Why you did not use this money for the 3.5 years, and you now come when we can no longer ask you questions. When if anybody asks you anything, you say, I don't owe you anything. When you owe us something, we ask you didn't do. Now that if you give you another 4 years, you say you are going to a big giga.
You were afraid to lose oil and gas aid. You were in that government. What do you know about the Bitumen project?
You know, I told you I don't fool myself. I was in charge of oil and gas.
Yes.
The oil I didn't see. The gas I didn't know anything about.
So what were you doing? Where were you?
I was just on the table. My table was as free as this table. Nothing. Between
November, stakeholders meeting that was head in your area on this issue.
Just a moment.
When the vice president came to Ondo State.
Just a moment. It's like somebody saying you make a castrated man the husband of a beautiful woman. The man is only fooling him. Say, that is my wife. You are already castrated. My office was doing nothing. People were doing the job. If they call for meeting of oil companies and all that, they won't call me. And I won't jump into a meeting for 1 year.
But you were involved when the VP was around, because I remember when there was a stakeholder.
That was the Niger Delta something that we heard. It was not oil matter. And because the governor said I should
issue of the seaport was mentioned there.
Yes, it is something to mention. It's another thing to do it. This government is a professor in mentioning issues. So let's not deceive ourselves. The truth of the matter is that as at today in Elaje, the people are agog to say we have been deceived for 3.5 years. No more deception. You can speak all the grammar. You can even pick the son of king and queen and all of that. Our mind is made up. 3.5 years you used our money. Osopadek money. We're not even talking about the money for the state government. Leave us with the Osopadek money. That will be enough. And I tell you,
Dr. Benson,
about 600 million naira every month, minimum, comes as the commission for Osopadek. I don't want to mention my brother's name. I don't want, he can't talk. Barrister Gbenga Edema, I know him, but he can't talk. So I'm not going to crucify him. He's under the control of somebody and some institution.
Who is that?
Section 5.
Who is that? You said he's under...
Hold on.
Okay.
Section 5 of Osopadek Act gives the governor the overriding control to say he shall give instruction
on our money,
on whatever is to happen in the Osopadek
projects and everything.
Everything, and that shall be complied with. You see, I breathe, and this is a serious one. If you are to be the governor alone, that will be different. There are other persons we didn't vote for
who do not have constitutional power,
constitutional, moral, social, emotional, anything whatsoever. They don't have any.
And you say they give the Osopadek chairman instructions?
Oh my God! Barrister Gbenga Edema, I know him. His house and I are very close. That guy is under challenge. I'm not holding forth for him. It's a bright Elijah son. But what can he do when these unauthorized individuals will say, carry this money, go and do this? And if he does not, his job is on the line. I don't have job to give to him. Therefore, they have messed up Osopadek, messed it up triangularly, horizontally, squarely, in all forms. And you want our people to take this government seriously. I am listening.
I watched one of your interviews in November 2016. You were with chieftains of other political parties. Then you were in the APC, and I remember what you said. November 2016. I don't want to mention the name.
Remind me.
I don't want to mention the name of the TV. They came to Ondo State, joined the election.
Yeah.
Bola Ilori was on.
Okay, I remember.
And you said the people of Ondo State had confidence in Akeredolu. Fast forward to September.
Yes,
September 2020.
Yeah.
You were on another TV station in Lagos. So I don't want to mention the with Ruben Abati.
Yeah.
And you said Akeredolu has failed in education, in healthcare, and all of these things.
That's correct.
What has changed?
Now, what I said.
You were in this corner.
Just a moment. What I said then, I meant every bit of it, that the people of Ondo State had confidence in Akeredolu. You know why? He was the president of my association, Nigerian Bar Association. And with further information now, maybe I wouldn't have made that statement. You recall Dr. Olusegun Mimiko once challenged him that when you were president of NBA, 10 members of your association wrote petition against that you were awarded
contract. Said that at the 2012 debate.
Yes, awarded contract again for yourself. Aketi do something. Except for father, mother, and child. And you can see that prophecy, whether prophecy or postulation, is what we see in Ondo State. Is the government of the father, operated by the son, managed by the wife for the family. That is what we are saying. And so when I made that statement, I felt this man, being a senior advocate of Nigeria, a lawyer, former MBA president, that he would do well. I didn't know I was voting for zero allocation. I didn't know. So if there's anybody... Zero allocation in performance. Okay. If there was anybody, and if there's anybody now, who one way or the other was taken in by those statements I made, I apologize. Like PDP did when people were accusing PDP of not doing well. The national chairman came and said, we are sorry for some impunity, for some of the things we did. This government that is on board, which is APC control from federal to the state, and I say this cautiously, is a disappointment. And going further in this derailment, and for people like me to keep quiet, will be iniquitous, will be evil. It's not going to be a calamity. And this is the man who went to our locality and picked up some traditional rulers and tongue-lashed them.
Just a moment ago, I asked you a two-part question. You only answered one part of it.
And the second part?
Or when I ask you what the PDP is going to do to someone, the political sentiment in your area. You talked about Jegede. You did not mention Agbola Ajayi.
You see, there is a principle in law which we say, expresso unis et exclusio ulterior. In other words, that which is expressly mentioned puts an end to that which is not mentioned. I was in this studio of yours when I mentioned that Honorable Agbola Ajayi, he may contest too, but that...
He is contesting?
Yes, but that the contest is just going to be a failure ab initio. And I'll tell you the reason.
Okay.
I have in my possession documents from the Supreme Court. I have in my possession documents filled with INEC. I have in my possession, and when I talk about my possession, if you come to my office, you can carry the ones in my office because I distributed them all around. So it won't end there. So forget whether you come to take it from my car. That this was a man who sat for examination in 2004 when he was chairman of local government. I know Honorable Agbola Ajayi was born on the 24th of September 1968. 24th of September 1968. By reason of his age, in 2004, he was well above 30. But the document from WAEC, for which he wrote his exam, shows that he was born on the 8th of December 1980.
Okay.
8th of December 1980. I'm talking about the WAEC result which I am in possession of. Now, when he wanted to go back to the House of Representatives in 2007, he went and deposed to another affidavit that, truly speaking, he was born on the 24th of September 1968. The record, the document he used to the university, that's Igbinedium University, is that document.
The first one?
The first one, yes. Of 8th December 2004, when he was a sitting chairman, executive chairman of the local government. It was not GCO, it was WASC, West African Examination Council result. For he went to Bolonduro and said he was a student. Remove 2004 from 1968, for those of you who are good in mathematics, you will see that was about 36 years. a 36-year-old person was a student in Bola Onduro writing WAEC. And for you to write WAEC,
That's always up there. Also, external students who come in register.
the external student is not allowed. The law forbids it. You must start from SS1, SS2, and to SS3.
You are saying he didn't do that.
When he was chairman of local government. So he will start from SS1. You know, if you win the election, I told one of his handlers, I said, tell Honorable Agbola not to go into this because it will be counterproductive. The matter is already in court. When he filled the form to go and contest for this, you know what he filled? He said he has met the minimum requirement and that it is that school start that he put. Now, in the case of Modibo and Usman, just decided this year, or reported this year in Nigerian Weekly Law Report, the Supreme Court came down to say if you have reason to have result A, B, C, D, and you disclose that it is result so you have because you don't want to be known for having the other result, he said you have lied, and that also amounted to the having fake result.
Okay, quick.
Now, for him, I don't want to bother so much about him. For whatever he does, it is like taking 35,000 multiplied by 40,000 multiplied by 125,000 multiplied by 5 million times 0. The answer will give you 0. For all that he's doing, let him continue. Whoever comes next to, if he comes first, that it is 0. It is simple, and it is no joke.
Let's do that for the law court to judge. Now let's talk about the comment made by the Minister of State for Niger Delta. I'm talking about Tayo Alasho Adura. There was an interview, this report in the newspapers, where he said that your candidate, Ita Jegede, is just wasting his time, being that Ondo Central just spent 8 years being governor. He was referring to Mimiko, the 2 terms of Mimiko, and Ita Jegede should wait for us. He even said that Ita Jegede will be beaten in Akure North and Akure South.
Now, Chief Donald Alasho Adura is known to me. We were together in PDP.
Yes.
He was commissioner for finance, while I was senior special assistant to the governor on policy planning, implementation, and special duties. Now, he is now serving in this government as Minister of State. The simple question I will ask him is that he is from this central. When our own Dr. Akinyelure came into the PDP, barely maybe about 2 or 3 months, and then the campaigns went on, he was beating black, blue, yellow, red, green, and white. And
as a sitting senator.
As a sitting senator. It was so shameful that he could not even go to court. You see, past glory of a boxer who was doing well, but now he has begun to eat pounded yam in the morning, pounded yam in the afternoon. It becomes so heavy, and then they say, let's go and fight, and he jumps up and says, yes, I'm going to fight. Those ones are retired people. Let him stay in Abuja. He does not know what is happening here.
Now
The song here is this: èyí ò gbọ́dọ̀ balẹ̀ ẹgbẹ́, èyí ò gbọ́dọ̀ balẹ̀ ẹgbẹ́, kaka kiki kaka kiki kaka ẹgbẹ́. That is the song everywhere. You know why I'm singing this song? In 1993, when MKO was to be president, there was a song in town. On the march again, waiting for Mr. President, on the march again. MKO is our man, no? The man won. In this state, in 2003, I was in the campaign train of Dr. Olusegun Agagu of blessed memory. What was the song? It was, Ondo State will shine again. It will shine, it will shine, it will shine. It will shine, it will shine well. I just dey tell them say, Ondo State go shine again. You say PDP, Agagujare. Now the same story has come back. In Ilaje, Ikale, from Odigbo, down to the Akokos, Owo, Akure. When you go on the street, I challenge you, enter, you ride your car, enter public transport. The song will be Kaka Kiki Kaka Kiki Kaka.
Dr. Benson, Dr. Benson,
just let me finish.
Dr. Benson,
you must carry everybody.
Dr. Enikome, what do you make of the defection of some of the some cheap things from your party, like the former speaker Jumoke Akindele, your was he your PA or your assistant Banjo Komo when you were at the NDDC? I think you worked together.
That one was a governorship, a big man. Calling my PA again.
But you were together when you were in NDDC. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Yes, when he was listening to me.
Correct me if I'm wrong.
I said yes when he was listening
now,
to me.
what do you make of their defection to Agbolasca?
Now, I am not...
Some people will feel that this would affect the chances of your candidate.
I am not a party to people who say when the person leaves that it's immaterial. Don't mind them, it's immaterial. For Honorable Jumoke Akindele to go and for somebody to say it's immaterial. Don't say that. For Banji to go and say it's immaterial. I don't join them in saying that. It is material. But the question we ask is this: is it fundamentally material? Can it effectively affect the chances of our people? I went to Kitipa yesterday. I was on a radio station from 6 to 7, and I was talking to our people. Oh my God, you need to hear them. They'll say, come on, it's a Itayo we have brought on board. These are the reasons in education, in health, in agriculture, security, empowerment, and all that. And I read them out. Our people are so enlightened that they are not carried away by former names. You will only carry a people along when you are standing on justice. The Bible says, and ye shall know the truth, and the truth shall set you free. If you know falsehood, falsehood will only entrap you. I have just told you, anything that Agbola Ajayi acquires in this election, it is 35 million times 0. Because the result is, you can't change it. And that was why we wrote to INEC to give us those documents. They have been given to us. I said they are in our custody. I have them. I'm not joking.
Okay,
therefore,
let me
those who went there, they may not have known, because you won't tell them the truth. If an elderly person urinates at home, you doesn't open up until they say, Baba, you were the one that urinated. So this thing happened. So for today, only 2 people are effectively in contest. Akeredolu SAN and Eyitayo Jegede SAN, and with the that the people are being educated.
Your candidate has been on the campaign trail. What has been the reception?
If I tell you, are you going to believe?
So you're not telling me. You're telling members of the public.
Okay, members of the public, then don't target me. Now in Akoko, people will wait till 9-10 p.m. The secretary of our committee, that's the publicity committee, I called him one day around 10 o'clock, Mr. Zadok Akintoye. He said, where are you? He said, we are innocent. 10 p.m. And I was hearing kaka kiki kaka kiki kaka. Èyí ò gbọ́dọ̀ balẹ̀ ẹgbẹ́. Èyí ò gbọ́dọ̀ balẹ̀. It is the kaka kiki kaka. But lest I forget, one of the messages that the governorship candidate Eyitayo Jegede gave to me today while I'm here is a message of peace. I'm going to speak it in Yoruba language. Ó ní mo kí gbogbo lé o. Ọmọ yín tó ń díje, òun lá dẹ̀ wọlé o. Torí èyí la fẹ́. Ó ní kí n rọ àwọn bàbá wa, àwọn ọba. ìjòyè àwọn àlùfáà wa àwọn imam pé tó bá ti di ọjọ́ kẹjọ àti ọjọ́ kẹsàn-án oṣù yìí oṣù tá a fẹ́ mú yìí October ké pé gbogbo wa tó nílé tàlẹ́ àlejò ké ká fi gbàdúrà àti àwẹ̀ pé kí election tó ń bọ̀ yìí kó lọ ní elétò òyìnbó wọn pé peacefully nírọ̀wọ́rọ̀sẹ̀ tó ní síkú tó ní síjà ó ní ká bẹ Ọlọ́run k'Ọlọ́run ṣàánú fún wa kó jẹ́ wípé gbogbo àwọn oníjàgídíjàgan tó ń gbé ìbọn tó ń sọ pé fẹ́ yìnbọn ọ̀gbẹ́ni kan sọ pé òun pé militant lòun à ń rọ militant yẹn lọ kó ìbọn kalẹ̀ ìbọn crazy kọ́ là ń ṣe. This is not gun-to-crazy government, this is democracy tá a ti ń tẹ̀ka ìka la fẹ́ lọ tẹ̀ kì í ṣe ìbọn la fẹ́ tẹ̀. Jàgídíjàgan kọ́ ó ní kí n bẹ̀ wọ́n pé kó jọ nínú àwẹ̀ nínú àdúrà ní ọjọ́ kẹjọ àtọjọ́ kẹsàn-án ìjọ́ kẹjọ ó jẹ́ Thursday ọjọ́ kẹsàn-án jẹ́ Friday Saturday ní la máa dìbò wípé Thursday and Friday ká fi gba àwẹ̀ yẹn ò túmọ̀ sí pé kó o gbà títí lọ́wọ́ aago 12 ọ̀run. By the time it's 12 o'clock in the afternoon you can break. What is the prayer all about? Ìbò Ondo State kò gbọ́dọ̀ sí ìtàjẹ̀sílẹ̀ kò gbọ́dọ̀ sí jàgídíjàgan anybody ò gbọ́dọ̀ kú àwọn tó ń tẹ̀lé Agboola ò gbọ́dọ̀ kú àwọn tó ń tẹ̀lé Jẹ́gẹ́dẹ́ ò gbọ́dọ̀ kú àwọn tó ń tẹ̀lé Akérédolú ò gbọ́dọ̀ kú ẹnìkankan ò gbọ́dọ̀ farapa àwọn mọ́tò drivers abẹ̀yìn ẹ̀yin náà ẹ gba àwẹ̀ Bíbélì ní pé ó ní bí àwọn èèyàn mi tí wọ́n ń porúkọ mi mọ́ tí wọ́n bá gbàdúrà tó ń gbàwẹ̀ tó ń wojú ó lóun máa ṣàánú fún wọn. So the flag bearer is a calm person. It's a person who believes in his God.
Okay, Dr. Benson.
The message is simple, clear.
Dr. Benson,
let's fast
because of our time.
For the peace
because
of
our
Ondo
time.
State.
It's 30 minutes before 3, and I'll be speaking with Dr. Benson Nikome. He is the chairman, Media and Publicity Committee of the PDP. We've been talking about development in Ondo State. Let me quickly ask you this one. After the Edo State election, the one won by your party, the PDP, one of the narratives that, members of your party have been pushing is that if you could do it in Edo, that you would do it again in Ondo State. But don't you think that the factors and the circumstances are different?
As a lawyer, even when you know that a case is against you, there's something what we call distinguishing the facts. You may know the facts are the same, but you go ahead and say, Your Lordship, I want to distinguish the fact. What fact are we distinguishing from Edo and Ondo? People are already tired of APC. The whole country is fed up. This is APC that promised security. A whole governor in Borno State was made to lie down. If a governor was made to lie down, is it you and me that will not be made to enter the ground? This security is accentuating every now and then. This is a government that promised that corruption will be put to an end. And you see the chairman of the Corruption Association that was in, what do you call it?
Let's not use this.
What is the, I forgot.
Please, let's not use
it was because I'm short of words.
Let's not use it.
The person that has the corruption sphere is also under probe. Look at the economy. The economy is in a mess. So what have the APC came on ground on propaganda, like father, like son. If we allow APC to rule this state again, we are in for terrible, sincere, and great problems. But it won't happen. It won't happen. My plea is this. The God of Edo is the God of Ondo. They say the God of the mountain is the God of the valley. What he did in Edo is ready to do in Ondo. All our people need to do, as you go to vote, buy bread, buy pure water. If you are able to buy akara, buy. When you vote, step aside for about 10 meters and be washing it. Your votes must count and be counted. And when the results are out, snap and send to the social media. They can win. APC cannot go anywhere. There is already a red card. When you give a player a red card, does he play again?
Now,
This government is already on red card.
Should your candidate win? That is the target.
He will win.
What should he win? What is likely to be the policy direction of his government? I'm asking because Ondo State is known to be largely a civil service state. Are we still going to continue to see that, or we're going to see an economy driven by public-private partnership?
He came out with my offer. You know, as a lawyer, you give an offer, and then you are the offeror. The person to whom you give the offer is the offeree. He takes the offer. And what are his offers? He said, I'm going to reduce to the barest minimum this exorbitant fees payable in our higher institution. It used to be 30,000, skyrocketed to 200,000. And when we talked and shouted, they didn't listen. Election now came around. They said, let's do something palliative. And that reminds me, the palliative that they gave to them, it is what they are distributing at Tojaba now. When you look at, you see COVID. They still have COVID on it. These people, they are terrible.
Let's talk about the policy direction.
The policy direction, education will be addressed. The issue of health, for which mother and child has been taken away, and that one will be restored. Our aged ones, 65 or something above, will be treated free. Young ones from 0 age to 85 will be attended to free. The issue of agriculture will be well addressed properly. In fact, the man came to say that on security matter, that there will be a new paradigm shift. I appreciate Arakuni for the introduction of Amotekun. That one I thump up for him, no doubt about it. But not Amotekun that will carry gun and be shooting political opponents. Amotekun will do what they are Amotekunly allowed to do, quote and unquote. So it will be distinct. So we must provide security for our people. We go to the area of empowerment. Little businesses that are to be done, the people will see it. Now, I don't like deceiving myself. I went to Ore. I told you I came from the southern part. I went to Ore. And I asked myself, this Ore, what we call business hub, how many people are working in this place? No, in the morning, when you see workers working, you will see them trooping into that place. I went to the place and I looked. The more I look, the less I see. I said, But they said that so many factories that can take 30,000 people are already here. I didn't see.
That's the industrial hub.
Industrial hub. The industrial hub.
You went there.
I said I went there. I know the place. I don't need to deceive myself. Where are the people working in this place? Are they mysterious people? Are they like what we heard in Ali and the Angel, that only the righteous people can see them? Is it only the righteous people that can see this one? We need to take imam and the pastors to go there and look at them with spiritual eyes, whether they can see people working here. I don't like deceiving myself. Therefore, we will address the issue. Then let me come to one before you shut me up. This one, they say, the governor will come and say, I am paying civil servants. It's very irritating. Are you saying that if you feed your child, it will be something you'll be bragging about? I gave my child food. These workers, don't they work? You say you are paying them. You are paying them for what? Is it for free? Is it ex gratia? It is what they are entitled to. Nobody, and I say nobody in this state should come again and mention that I'm paying staff salary. When did that become issue? Staff that are working with me, when I pay them their salary, I now come and announce. This is shameful. If anybody mentions it again, he will hear more from me.
Okay,
that you are paying staff salary.
Thank you very much, Dr.
Nobody should do that.
Thank you very much, Dr. Benson Nkrumah, Chairman.
Is my time up?
It is up. Thank you very much, Dr. Benson Nkrumah, Chairman, Media and Publicity Committee of the PDP. Thank you very much for coming on to this edition of the Roundtable. Okay, you'll be listening to Dr. Benson Nkrumah, PDP Chieftain, and we'll be talking about political development in Ondo State ahead of the October 10 governorship election. My name is Dimeji Danes. Do join me next Monday for another edition of the program. Good afternoon and thanks for listening.
Tirigbosa.
Bosa, bosa, bosa. Ra 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 ra. Ra 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 ra. Ra 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 ra. Ra 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 ra. Ra 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 ra. Ra 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 ra. Ra 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 ra. Ra 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 ra.
lẹ́yìn àdìgbòlè ọmọ lágbára ọlọ́run ọlọ́run bọ̀ wá dára after many years of wakaabo push eventually we enter democracy but instead of progress na fighting we dey fight if democracy go on. We must get patience more to destroy very easily, but to build the wàhálà ni o. Àfikà ní sùúrù, sùúrù tó lọ́jọ́, sùúrù lèrè o. Ẹ má jẹ́ àfàyọ̀ fọ́ o. Sódì àfọ́, humility. O democracy. O politician. Sùúrù lèrè ẹ má jẹ́ àbáyọ̀ bò. O legislator. O certificate. O gba master. O gba mísísì. Ọ̀nà democracy lẹ́sìn ẹ kọrin.
Kí la wá ṣe? Ẹjọ́ la wá fàyè gbọ́. Kí la wá sí? Ṣèbáyé la wá jẹ níbí. Kí la wá ṣe? Ṣẹjọ́ la wá fàyè gbọ́. Kí la wá ṣe? Ṣèbáyé la wá jẹ níbí. Ẹ bá fi ẹlẹ̀. Ẹjẹ́ àjàyè orí níbí. Ó bá dọ̀gba. Ká ní ọ̀rọ̀ wàhálà wa lọ.
Bàbá ní aṣọ kò sọjà abára lé o. If we search ourselves, nobody innocent o. Bàbá ní aṣọ kò sọjà ṣé afárá lé lórí. Everybody guilty pátápátá, nobody innocent o. So make we stop all this hypocrisy. Make we get patience more, build better democracy. Orin.
Kí la wá ṣe? Ṣẹjọ́ la wá fàyè gbọ́. Kí la wá ṣe? Ṣèbáyé la wá jẹ.
Kí la wá ṣe o?
Kí la wá ṣe? Ṣẹjọ́ la wá fàyè gbọ́. Kí la wá ṣe? Ṣèbáyé la wá jẹ níbí. Ẹ bá fi yẹlẹ̀. Ẹ̀jẹ̀ àjàyè orí níbí. Ó bá dọ̀la. Kárí ọ̀rọ̀ wàhálà wa lọ.
Kí la wá ṣe?
Politics is a good thing, but with the attendant intricacies and the many sound bites, it gets confusing. At Adaba 88.9 FM, it is our job to sift through the noise, helping you make sense of it all. This is why we welcome you to our world, where we help make politics